What is up, my midlife shredders? Welcome to another episode of MTB over 40. This episode is more of like, you know, the phrase when life hands you lemons, you make lemonade. Well, that's kind of what this video is. I had intended to make a completely different video than what this is going to be. So I'm kind of shooting from the hip on this one, but we'll get through it. As you know by the title, what it's really like to ride, what it really looks like to ride a mountain bike is really because of a mistake I made. You know, I had went to North Georgia to ride this epic trail, or epic trail considered to locals. It's about a 25-mile loop. It's called the BearHoti. It's a combination of Bear Creek trails and the Pinoti trails. And if you're familiar at all with bike packing, you know the Pinoti trails in North Georgia. So it's a combination of those trails. This is not a trail system I would have attempted on my regular bike at all. It's a ton of climbing, but I decided I'd try this on my e-bike. I'd try, you know, I wanted to see how my e-bike would fare this trail system, how much battery life I can squeeze out of this e-bike. So like I said, it's about 25 miles, but about over 4,000 feet of elevation gain. So I knew it would really test my battery. And so I kind of wanted, that was the intent, and I was going to film it. And, you know, I took my trusty GoPro along, you know, with my normal, you know, setup. But what I didn't do was, because I used this camera to film something else and I had changed the settings, I had forgotten to change those settings back. I know, it's like, you know, dude, you do this all the time. You should know better to check the settings before you start a recording. And yes, I normally do, but you know, this camera is just like, it's always set the same. And it just so happens that one time I changed the settings for something else, and yeah, it bit me in the butt. Yeah, so this is kind of what it looks like originally. So obviously, at first I thought, crap, my ride is ruined. All this, you know, I spent 4 hours on the bike. You know, I was out there for over 5 hours. And yeah, it was a whole day. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is all ruined. Like, I can't show this. I can't do anything with it. But Lightbulb, you know, this probably happens to other people. I'm sure it's happened to maybe some of you. And it's not the first time I put it on a setting and it wasn't the right setting, or I was thinking I was hitting record and I wasn't hitting record, I was hitting stop. You know, all those things, you know, everybody's done it, you know, so I thought, you know, why not? When I looked at the footage and was able to correct it a little bit, add a little bit of stabilization, what I realized was this is what it looks like when you really ride a mountain bike. I mean, you know, you look at footage like my other footage, it's, you know, it's somewhat smooth. It's, you know, even over chunky stuff, it's all smoothed out, and you see the bike moving, you see everything else moving, but you don't really see what I see, or what, you know, anybody really sees when they ride a mountain bike, because it's way different, right? So I kind of wanted to do a video about this and say, look, this is what it really looks like when you really ride a mountain bike. So yeah, let's roll a couple clips and show you what it's like. I did film some off-bike stuff. I have, you know, I use a little Sony ZV-1 that I sometimes take with me on long trips. I put it, this is great because it's small, it's compact. I shove it in my hip pack, and you know, I just take it with me, and every now and then, if I can stop, I'll stop and film some off-bike stuff. So I'll show you a little bit of that. But yeah, here's some stuff to show you what it's really like, what it feels like, and what a lot of times what I see when I bomb down on some of this stuff. So here we go. Nice. Oh yeah. Oh, this is fun.
control that. Nice. I can see why people around here love this trail. Whew. Whew. Ooh. Oh, wasn't that bad. Ah, could have. Man, this thing's throwing me all around. So fun. Nice technical descent. Not going to get too crazy. It looks very washed out. Very techy. Nice. Ooh. Just gonna ride through it. Wasn't that deep. Nope, not gonna make that. Very slick though. Ooh. Oh, okay. Oh, that's gorgeous. Just beautiful.
All right, so there you go. It's a little glimpse of what it was like. It was a lot of fun. It was a really fun trail system. Obviously, the downhills was way better than climbing up. Just know it's hard. It's a hard climb. A lot of elevation gain, and it's steady. The climbs are just steady. There's no relief. So just know that going ahead. It's a beautiful area, beautiful trail system. You know, it's lots of streams, waterfalls. You know, you saw it all. I mean, it's just gorgeous and lots of fun. Definitely, if you're into, you know, those big epic type rides, I think it's definitely one you should check out. So, now, how did I correct this footage? In case you find yourself in one of these situations, I thought, well, I'll go ahead and show you what I did. It's not incredibly difficult, but yeah, let's get to the screen and I'll show you what I did. All right, so I'm using DaVinci Resolve. I think this can be done with pretty much any editor. I know you can do this in Premiere, and I know you can do it in Final Cut Pro. The plugins might be called something different, and it might be a little bit of a different process, but as far as how to, you know, what the tools are to use, but the execution is still very much the same. So what I'm gonna do is I've got my GoPro footage here. So I got all my clips in. As you can see, yeah, they look horrible. They are all warped like this. So obviously this was not good because I had my max lens mod on and I didn't change to the max lens mod setting. So yeah, we're gonna correct all that. So I'm going to come over here to edit, and I'm going to create a new timeline. Create a new timeline, just going to make it simple. Yes, create. And I want just to drop in, you know, one of these clips here. Let's see, let's take this one. All right, so as you can see, very noisy. All right, so as you can see, that was not fun. Okay, so we're gonna take this clip and we're gonna make it look right. So in DaVinci Resolve, there's a thing called lens correction. And you can analyze it, but we already know we don't need DaVinci to understand what's going on here. We already know what's going on here. So basically I'm gonna take that and I'm just gonna, that's all it is. That's it. That's all you need to do. You can go the opposite way and zoom in. That will cause it to, you know, warp even more, but we don't want to do that. We want to go the opposite way, which is this way. All right, so that's easy. Now it all looks, you know, I'm going to turn this volume down a little bit. And now all this pretty much looks, you know, like it should be. Now, if we watch it,
but yeah,
it's very unstable, right? We can see that. And I'm not sure if I get into anything really rough here, but it's not far off from what you saw in the earlier clips. But I think we can, you know, make it a little bit more somewhat watchable. The stabilization in GoPro obviously is way better when you record it. Doing it after the fact, it's much harder. But in DaVinci Resolve, just right above lens correction, we have stabilization. We're gonna click on that. And the settings that I used in almost all those clips were this. I changed it to the mode from perspective. You have 3 modes: perspective, similarity, and translation. I changed it to translation. I did not do camera lock. I left it on zoom. I changed the cropping ratio to just 0.85, and then smooth at 0.5 and strength at 0.5. And the reason why I did all these was because I found out when I tried to smooth it out way too much and strengthen it too much, that it gave me a lot of artifacts. It gave me a lot of jumping around, you know, didn't really know how to handle the footage because it is so shaky. So I found that just leaving it halfway for both smooth and strengthen gave me the best results. We're gonna hit stabilize, and I'm gonna let it run. We'll check back here in just a second. Okay, so you can see it cropped in a little bit, and honestly, that's what GoPro does already in camera. If you look at other footage of mine, you can see that I don't even have this much width. And if you want to crop in more, you can always decrease this number. And what that does is it causes it to crop in more because you're decreasing the cropping ratio. So, but I found the 0.85 was good. Again, it's not perfect, but especially on when it smooths out, when the writing is a little bit more easier going, it smoothed it out quite a bit more. And it just allowed some of it to be a little bit more watchable. Oh, yeah. So you can see this looks a little bit better. That's still crazy, but you get the idea. So there it is. That's how I fixed the fisheye effect, and, you know, de-warped the footage and added a little bit of stabilization. Again, not nearly what GoPro does, but it makes it just a little bit more watchable. Okay, so obviously, what's the lesson in this? Definitely check your GoPro settings each time before you ride, or, you know, before you record a ride. You know, it's something that I usually do, and this time it bit me in the butt, like I said. But yeah, just make sure that all your settings are correct before you go in. Real easy to do, especially with the app. You know, you can use your phone for the GoPro app and just check all the settings that way, which is normally what I do. There you have it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully my mistake is a lesson learned for not just me, but for you as well. Take it for what it is. So, all right, the journey continues. Live, learn, and send it. It is never too late to start. We'll see you guys.